Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another fantastic WABcast. Your solid anchor and hero for the day is me, WABPatches, and barking at my heels as ever is my faithful lap hound, the monkey.
Lap hound?
I have no idea where that came from. I haven't got a clue. Sorry, mate. It just seemed like an appropriate thing to say at the time.
Well, there you go.
That's a wicked lap hound noise. You should make that again. You should make that more. Yeah, that's awesome, that.
Anyway.
Sorry, should we talk about some StarCraft?
Well, if I have to.
Yeah, I mean... Oh, we've gone silent on that thought, haven't we? I think we've just extinguished all of our bronze knowledge on how to play StarCraft. Actually, on that note, guys, we're casting this really because we just want to point out some things, I think, that can help people play. And I wouldn't say these are as far as mistakes or errors or problems or anything like that. These are just little areas that maybe you want to think about in your own game and just try and, apply to your own play, I would say.
I would agree.
Anyway, sorry, moving on. Let's have a look at the builds that we're going for. We've got a TOS player here, Daederion.
Oh, I was going to go with Daederion.
Let's go with Daederion, shall we?
Yeah. If we've, not said it right, Daederion, we do apologise. But
okay.
That's just the way it is.
Okay, so Daedrion's got a pylon out at the top of his ramp. I'd assume some kind of wall is on the way and he's off out scouting. Both players scouting the wrong way. But never mind, that's nobody's got the advantage.
Okay.
Okay, and if we have a look over at tohaaaa, by the way, thank you very much for this replay, tohaaaa. We'll see that you've got yourself a refinery down, and your racks and your supply depot are going down. Now, you're building over at the top of your ramp, but you're not walling, which is an interesting thing. I mean, as a Terran player, I would have thought that if you're going to build at the top of your ramp, you may as well wall. If you're not going to bother walling, if you build around by your command centre, then you save all the time it takes to send your SCV over, and you build this very slightly quicker and slicker.
Maybe it's for bunker play. Maybe we're going to get some bunkers in there and other such wonders, but I don't play Terran.
Even with bunker play, you'd want your SCVs to be walling this ramp. I mean, if you had a wall here, you'd have denied this scout for a start, who's going to come in. And at the moment, we're looking at absolute stereotypical 3-rack stim push build. We're at, 17 supplies, so we're slightly late on our orbital, but beyond that, we've got, a sensible amount of SCVs, only the one gas out, and a barracks down.
Get that SCV back mining.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up later. I think there's a lovely moment a little bit later where we can see that in quite a lot of detail.
Fair dude. Can we just have a flick at the Protoss player?
Yep.
Who's floating 400 gems at the minute. He's supply blocked. That's not going anywhere, and it's just chronoed out the 18th probe there. So I imagine... Oh, chrono more, dude. So this is for a cannon. If you are supply blocked, my top tip is to build pylons, or whatever it is.
Build supply, sharpish like. And there we go.
There it is.
I mean, he's been supply blocked for a good 30-40 seconds there.
Or longer by the time we got there.
Just purely to get one Zealot out. And now he's doing the classic thing, and this is something that I am greatly guilty of, so... anybody that's played with me will have seen this. I'm supply blocked. I'm going to put down 47 supply depots now, and then I'm going to forget about supply until I'm blocked again.
Yeah.
The slick builds, honestly, guys. Once I started learning some builds and learning when to put supply down, that has made a massive difference to my ability to play this game. So it's probably something that's worth people thinking
good
about.
chrono, but
and finally that lot comes out. However, if we hadn't been supply blocked, it would already be on the field.
Can we just have a quick look at the probe line? Looking at the gems there, not looking too bad. A ming load of chrono. We're floating a lot of gems still. So let's get chronoing on that one gateway, on that forge. And I have to say, for the build we've got, I see this a lot in the higher league games, which is normally for a forge fast expand. But that's not what we're going for, because we've gone for the top of the ramp. So I'm a bit kerfuddled as to what the game plan is here.
I mean, obviously... I'm never going to say that upgrades aren't important, but I think at this stage of the game, I mean, TOS upgrades are what, 150 times gems and gas a go, something like that?
I think...
Sorry, minerals and gas a go. Do you see what I've done there? Do you see how good I am?
I think you're right. But we can float down and have a look if you want, and let's show the boys and girls. 175, 175. That's level 2, mate. Down here. That doesn't tell you.
But here, 100, 100.
There we go, we're in.
They were buffed actually, weren't they, in the last patch, so there's a good chance that's post-last patch. But that at this stage of the game is a lot, which if you're getting cheese can be quite a lot. Now if we head back to tohaaaa, we would see what would appear to be the absolute classic 3-wrap stim build. Okay, we've got
we're blocked.
we are blocked, but you know, we've got a reactor out with
not anymore.
stim on the way out. We've got, you know, 2 barracks down, and you'd expect to see as you go up here your 3rd barracks. What we've actually got is a factory which is now doing nothing. So that's 150 gems and 100 gas, sorry, I think, doing nothing. Still doing nothing.
And SCV.
SCV still not back. Still doing nothing. Okay, and we're at the 7-minute 41 mark, and we've got out 1 Marauder and 2 Marines. So,
against 3 lots and 1 Stalker.
Okay, so what you'll find is perhaps, I know that there's a lot of rage on forums about people just copycat building, but if you just look for yourself a build for your race that works with your style of play, if you like mech play, maybe look at some of the 2 factory builds. If you like bio play, maybe look at 3-rack stim push, because that is a very nice build, and there's 2 or 3 nice little variations of it. If you're into a mix of the lot, look at the 1-1-1 build, and just find that and practice it. Will give you a really good platform to start developing your own style of play from.
Yeah, definitely.
Because at the moment, if I was playing Terran,
both players blocked again.
About a minute and a half earlier, I'd have walked into your base with stim, with greater than this number of units, and probably with 2 upgrades in terms of I'd probably have stim and either combat shields or slow shells on the way down. But anyway, that's not a dig at you, tohaaaa. That's just a thought. And it comes back to oh, here we go, going for a nice little push. And oh, we have actually fast expanded out. We've got no defence on this expo, so cancel it. Cancel it.
The units aren't coming down from there. It is. That's
there we go.
cancelled.
That's cancelled. But unfortunately, we haven't cancelled these assimilators, so that's 150 gems.
Assimilators.
And frankly, with stim, that marine force, that bio force, is quite man enough to push up into this base and destroy everything that's in there, I'm afraid. Go on, tohaaaa. Oh, hang on. Right. I know that we say that you don't need to be a god's gift at micro to do well in the Bronze League. However, there are basic elements of micro that I do quite like not standing in something's fire range to shoot at something static when I'm not required to, you know.
Yep. I want to bring up a point that I made, I think it was on the last cast we did for tohaaaa on that game, was building assimilators and refineries straight away after we plonked down our Nexus Command Centre hatchery, because for Protoss, which is all the way back over there again, that's 150 gems that was sat there, built, not doing anything while we're still waiting on a Nexus.
Aye.
Just sat, going, hi, I'm an assimilator. That's a gateway.
Yeah.
That's, you know, most of the payment for a Stalker.
Aye.
That's a Zealot and a half.
Yeah.
It's another cannon.
It's a lot there, and if tohaaaa had left that marine ball here and just sat there picking them away, it was just literally gone down the pan. Oh, here we go. Big new attack again. We've got stim. Got some cannons warping in. Come on, tohaaaa. You've got more than enough to push in and finish this game, sir. So get in there and
he has got enough to.
And there we go. This is something I do like to see with Terran play. Scan first, so that you can see, and it gives you that uphill sight and makes people come out and play against you.
We're looking at 1 Zealot to 8 and 8 Stalkers to 6 Marauders, 20
so
Reams.
We've had a stim here, which has hurt all of those guys, and instead of pushing in with that stim, they're all running back to base, which means when they next stim, they're only going to be taking 1 or 2 hits to be killed.
We have done a classic Sir Robin.
We have. Classic Sir Robin. We've run away and...
Right. I just want to talk about this now. We've got the refineries going down. The command centre is there. That's great. Okay, as long as the minute that's finished, there are SCVs there going straight on the refinery. Otherwise, that's wasted gems again.
Yep. Just a thought though, Monkey. We've got tohaaaa. He's spending his gems very, very nicely, we see. It's very rarely getting much above sort of 200, which I think at bronze level is really not bad play at all, he says, as they fly straight up as they start coming. We're floating over 800 gas.
Alright, maybe then we don't need the gas.
Okay, so why have we put refineries down?
Well, I'm going to say what I think I said in the last cast. I think it's just habit. We know that we need to saturate a mineral field, so we do that, and then we go, oh, we also need to get the gas as well. Because gas, in a lot of posts, is classed as the king of the game. Without gas, you can't do much.
Aye. Except for Marines and Lots.
Marines and Lot, which I have to say are pretty units.
Awesome units. Or Lings if you're a Zerg. Sorry, Zergs, we're ignoring you. That's because neither of us play Zerg and they're not in this game. So I think really what this is bringing me to is the concept of timings and timing pushes. So I'm hoping that everybody plays with the timer down here on. I don't think that the game defaultly puts that on for you. I think you're required to put that on yourself.
Yeah.
It's up in options on the menu, I think. Is
Yeah.
that right? Yep. Really fantastic. And if you look at
Tohaaaa
some of the
blocked.
good websites, some of the Liquipedia, Wikipedia, or StarCraft Wiki, whatever it's called, you will find some of the standard timings written down so that you know that when somebody's going for a 4-gate, you know that at 5:50 they should be coming in, and if you've scouted a 4-gate, you need to be able to defend that 4-gate. Likewise, for your own personal builds, and what I use it for, because I'm really not at a high enough league to worry about what the opposition's doing, I know that if my stim push is going in after the 7-minute mark, I'm in trouble. I haven't done it well enough. Likewise, if I'm sitting there at 6 minutes with an awful lot of Marines and I'm thinking I've done pretty well, I know there's probably something crucial I've forgotten somewhere along the line.
Just to butt in,
So-
if I can, just for a
Yeah.
moment. We're talking about SCVs, Seb will mention it later, and this is the point I feel. So,
Yeah. 1,
1,
2, 3.
oh, you just moved that one. There was 4. But 3 SCVs sat, just chilling out. I think this might be the 4th once it's finished there.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, when you do build, remember that shift click button. Shift click. I'm doing the motions in front of the screen. Shift click.
Now have a quick look at the supply up here. We've got 113 supply for tohaaaa, for 81 supply for Daederion. We're in now, let's see, the 16th minute of the game. We've both got a natural working quite nicely. As far as I'm aware, nobody has done any exploration of this part of the map up here, and more crucially, this part of the map here. It is so easy, so easy. Oh, and tohaaaa Sir Robining again.
Well, I don't even think that was a poke, dude.
Okay, if we siege those tanks up, nice and close to that, well, when I say nice and close, about a position or so closer than where they are now.
Oh.
We'll take those cannon down. Oh, he's getting one of them. I thought they'd all be out of range.
Remember the
Let's have a
splash
look.
hitting the second? Just.
Yeah, just out of range.
Ooh, charge lots are in
Charge
there.
lot, and they should make an absolute mess of the bio.
What
Not only is going to happen there is as the charge lots are in, the splash off the tanks will be ripping through the Marines.
And again, you took the words right out of my mouth.
So
that was a nice meaty attack there. I enjoyed that.
That was good. I'm very slightly surprised that the Protoss wasn't able to finish off that push, to be honest, with the units that they had there.
Oh, going back into her. Good on you.
Yep, good lad. I mean,
Ooh, be careful with the
dearie me.
medevacs. They're what's keeping
I'll
the
be
units
honest, if we're
alive.
going to tank push, you need to protect these tanks. These are the damage dealers. As soon as you leave them exposed, they're just going to fall to pieces. They will do, they'll take some
Okay,
paces,
damage
but they
done.
do-
Blink away. Those stalkers do have blink, don't the patches?
Those stalkers have blink.
Blink away.
Okay, so again, guys, nobody expects at Bronze League anybody to be Idra or Leenock or anybody like that with your micro skills, but at the same time, there are things that you can do with your micro to just make your life a little bit easier. And really, I would say this ball has had it. They're not going to stim again. They're out the game unless he's got some medivacs coming out onto the field for us. Okay, so we've got a starport down here that's building exclusively medivacs.
No reactor.
He's gone for the tech lab.
See,
And he's still got an SCV there. And he's gone for the tech lab.
now I have seen people do that, and that's to research the extra energy for the medevac, and then they've lifted it up and swapped it round with, say, a barracks.
Mhm.
That's already got the reactor on it, but that's not happening. Concussive is just starting to get researched now for
Only
tohaaaa.
just.
Yep.
Okay, we've got the combat shield, so I'll let them off. But I mean, at the 19-minute mark, and we're only
How
just
much
going
queuing are we
concussive.
doing in general, just out of interest?
Massive queuing. And how many gems are we floating? Both
Well,
both players have got an awful lot
of gas.
of gas, and tohaaaa here has a frightening amount of minerals as well.
What would you do if you had that many minerals?
Well, first thing, I'd start spamming down some production buildings. I mean, what is this factory doing? I've only seen 2 tanks on the field so far.
What
Got
else?
One tank. That is all this factory's doing. Come on, tohaaaa. Get this factory doing something. You've hotkeyed it up. Start using it. Do it.
So with that many minerals, you're saying more production, buildings, build more units,
Yep.
and I think there's one other thing as well we can do, and we have a lot of stuff just left over, not doing anything.
Me, I like to throw up expos all over the map.
No, I don't think that's the right right one I was going for, but we have gone for a greedy gold.
Greedy gold, yeah.
Upgrades.
Oh, God, of course,
There we go.
And
But
the
I'd have
upgrades
2
are in.
engineering bays down then.
Absolutely. Sorry, guys, I was a bit confused as to where the monkey was going with that. I mean, upgrades to me are as crucial as units. you know, if the opposition is getting more upgrades than you, then their units are going to be more efficient than yours.
Still
and
got
the
all
battle's
those
not going to go well.
SCVs sat not doing anything. Shift click, guys. Can we just have a look at energy wise so I can do some raging? Oh, tohaaaa, good on you. But I think that's all been used on scans, hasn't it? Not muling, but it's been used effectively.
To be honest,
Oh,
I wouldn't
push.
be muling with this amount of gas. Okay, this is a game winner. Early stim, and get that tank sieged. Get the tank sieged. Get
Not
the tank
enough
sieged.
Zelos.
Get the tank sieged, and well done. Good moving of the medivacs there to get the high ground site. Superb. And that ball, I think, is going to push through.
Oh,
and
Daederion's gone.
Rip the game to shreds.
That's it.
Yeah, game over. Okay, so well played, tohaaaa. You did the thing.
Mouse boy.
I'm not touching the mouse, man.
That's because you've pushed it up to the top. Thank you. You spanner. Oh, no chrono. Bad boy. Anyway, you were about to have a great conclusion there.
Oh, well, so I was just going to say that, to be honest, it was quite an enjoyable game. That there was lots of pushing backwards and forwards rather than a city being built, which was what we last saw from tohaaaa. So I think he's advanced massively in his StarCraft, and I think that nobody should take anything away from him. However, I would be encouraging people to look at when pros are able to get these builds out and start looking at some timings of some basic attacks. Just have these in your mind, and then have that timer up so that you know how well you're doing. You know that if you're at the 5-minute mark and you've only got 2 Marines on the field, you need to really work out what you've been doing with your money and your time. Something's gone wrong. Likewise, if you're at the 5-minute mark and you've got a large army out, why not go and poke with it? You know, what's the opposition going to have?
You know, I kind of like Zen Master's approach to the game. He knows at whatever time he will have... What Zen Master normally has? He has 20 Marines, 5 Raiders, 2 Medevacs at a set time, and then he goes off and kills. Now that was great, that worked, a treat for Zen Master. Unfortunately, there was one problem with his build.
Yeah, the time took about 30 minutes, didn't it?
Well, it did take a little longer than normally. What the problem was we stopped building once we hit that amount. We poked, and then we rebuilt once the force was gone. Remember, guys, don't get focusing on just making a number, you know, to the amount of time that you want to go for. You have to continually build, otherwise you end up with massive floats of gems and gas, and it just spend it, upgrade, spend it, fight.
Absolutely. And to be honest, I think really, I mean, maybe a couple of little micro errors in this game that we picked up on, but generally that's what separates the good players from the not so good players, is just what time they're able to get things onto the board at. And to be honest, at our level of play, without being harsh, I mean, even up in some of the gold and the plat games that we've encountered recently, I mean, this is 2v2, not 1v1, but even at those levels, we're finding that the bigger army is the winning army.
Yep.
And just literally spamming the right numbers of the right types of troops out as fast as you can is all that's required, and it's the speed at which you get those troops out that separates the winners from the losers.
Definitely. And I think it does come down to time. I think Day 9, or Herald the Great One, said so. It's just about having just enough at just the right time, and well, it goes to show definitely now 2v2 when we walk in about the 7 to 8 minute mark, we seem always just to have enough at just the right time.
That's it. Very rarely are we stomped in those first 7 or 8 minutes unless somebody's playing some seriously gold level cheese.
Oh, it's always the golds.
It is. Gold League is currently in my head the mass. I haven't seen a gold team yet that's not tried to cheese us. I don't know how that they know that we're silvers and that we need cheesing, but they seem to know it psychically, and cheese is what happens.
Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I've been Monkey. Remember, hit that like button, hit subscribe, ignore the dislike unless you want to leave constructive criticism. This tagline's getting longer. Anyway, happy hunting.
I haven't got anything to say, really. Bye-bye.